Oh, no.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
Unhinged.
All right. So we're going to pick right back up with you, Learas, trailing Flin and Ryven. How are you going about doing this? We're keeping the 30 on stealth that you rolled at the end of last session.
Yeah,
Please
so
tell me how you're going about this.
I had let them go without me, and Wade had told me where his office was, and so basically Learas is going to go around the outside of the building and then climb up to the second level and watch from the window.
So fortunately, I suppose for Learas, there is a moderately sized tree growing a small distance away from the back wall that would give you vantage into Flynn's office. Now, you're welcome to climb out the outside of the building if you want to, or you're also welcome to use the tree.
The tree probably would, it's got some foliage to it, like it would give me some cover. Then yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay. Now you wait a moment or two to let the two of them get a head start, and you very nonchalantly make your way around back into like the little physic garden in the back where they grow some popular alchemical reagents, things that are good to have on hand, and shimmy up a little fruit tree or a medium-sized fruit tree of some sort that is growing back there. And you position yourself such that you can get a little line in a vision on part of Flynn's office up there on the second story. And not too long after you get into the tree, you see two individuals enter into the door and begin having a conversation. You should make a perception check and an insight check for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I don't know where my cup is, so we'll roll by hand here. Okay, well, perception's going to be a 16.
Excellent.
And insight's going to be a 12.
Okay. So, is there anything else you're doing to assist yourself in observing this? Because right now, all you've got is like visual. It's not possible to hear any of this conversation from where you are.
I don't suppose there's like any sort of ledge outside the windows or anything.
There is. It's like a couple inches of like the fascia on the building where you could stand on it, but you would be fully in the middle of the window.
Yeah, and is this just sort of like one of those open stone windows? Is there glass to it? Like, is
there is glass to it?
And it's currently closed?
It is currently closed.
Okay, well, I think when I have a second, so I'm watching them as they come in kind of thing. I'm hoping that like Flin kind of turns his back to Ryven or whatever to close the door behind them, that sort of thing. So I had like a second. I'm going to cast message, point at Ryven, and say, I'm observing, bring him towards the window.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. After a second, you hear back, got it. Yeah, so they have a little bit of a conversation. You can see that Flynn's back is kind of to you, and Ryven is like idly kind of walking around the room while they talk. Okay. And is successfully able to position their conversation so that Flin is pretty close to the window.
All right, and then from there, I'm just going to kind of edge out as much as I can on the branch and try to pick up what I can from their conversation.
Yeah, so they talk for quite some time. You think they're in there for 15 or 20 minutes, having a discussion, which you can hear at times. It's not, I wouldn't say it's getting heated as in hostile, but there's definitely, even with a 12, you can pick up through the body language that Flin seems to be very concerned about something. And just some of the gestures in his body language and the word or two you can hear, here and there. It seems like he's basically asking Ryven, like, you don't actually think I have anything to do with this, do you? Like, they're having some kind of conversation about that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't have any like magical means to discern truth or anything, so I'm just going to continue to observe them until the conversation's over to make sure she is actually safe, and then once complete, I think I'll try to jump down, like rush around to meet with her inside. And
okay. Yeah, let me roll a few dice here to determine some things.
Okay.
Yeah, after this conversation seems to be wrapping up, and he, whatever she said seems to have like assuaged him a little bit. It's not getting vitriolic. He's not making any attempts to stop or harm. You don't see him cast any spells or anything to be recognizable as a spell like that. And after 15 to 20 minutes, she departs his office, and he just kind of flops down in this big chair and just like does some gesture like that, and kind of puts his hands on his face and just leans forward onto his desk. Looks like he's thinking about something.
I'm going to give it 1 minute. I just want to see if he starts doing anything suddenly.
Yeah, you hang out for another minute, and nothing much happens. He, after sitting with his hands on his temples for a little while, it looks like he pulls some piece of paper out of his desk and starts writing something.
Okay. Well, my instinct is that maybe we're just putting the sus on him for no reason, but we'll continue to follow the evidence. So Learas would just then get back down out of the tree and make a beeline to intercept Ryven.
Yeah. I'll say also, it's been about a little bit more than 20 minutes by this point, so Cam and Wade are wrapping up with their stint in Jacob Amata's office, doing some divinry on the abandoned clothing that you found. And if you would like to, you can encounter each other on the way, unless you would be heading off someplace else.
Imagine he's directing that at you since you're a stealthy boy, right?
I'm addressing it at all of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
both of us?
Like,
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it'd
we
be
can
cool to
run
intercept
a meet up.
Yeah.
I think Cam is like about to ascending to Learas. She's like, as they're leaving and realizing that Learas had gone off to follow after Flin, and we just found out more sus things. And then they kind of just like come around the corner.
He just like materializes in front of her suddenly.
She takes a second. Did I? No.
Well,
for a second, she
Ryven...
thought she summoned you.
Ryven is safe. I couldn't make out much of their conversation, but we could talk to her. She's left his office.
We found out some interesting things.
Oh, really?
According to Jacob Amatha, the diviner, the robes appear to think that they belong to Flin. Is how he put it.
Which we already suspected.
Yes.
Although his behavior with Ryven, it does make me question his guilt.
What do you mean?
He seemed more concerned about... He seemed more concerned than guilty, trying to hide things. It's hard to explain, and as I said, I missed so much of the conversation, but it's just my instinct as an investigator.
I'll say about at this moment, you catch a quick glimpse of Ryven coming down the stairs and crossing a hallway that intersects with... walking down a hallway that intersects with this one.
Oh, there. And he just starts running to meet up with her.
Yeah.
Cam is also going to start running and probably telegraphs their every movement with the sound coming from her.
Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching.
Wade's just gonna walk quickly, but he's not gonna actually run.
It's like the only reason that she has the stats of the armor that she's wearing is because it's just how many bangles she's got on. Functions like No, if she hears you coming, stops, looks over her shoulder to see what the sound is, and recognize you, stops. So how'd it go with Jacob?
He said that the robes probably belong to Flin. I mean, the math is weird though, because he would have been about 75 when these robes were made, like 75 years ago. And I don't... It's just very, very weird. And he didn't admit to owning these robes or knowing about them.
I didn't really get anything. She's, kind of looking over her shoulder around, make sure that there's nobody else nearby. And when I spoke to him, he seemed really distraught to learn that there's people who think that he might have something to do with this.
Well, isn't that what any bad guy would do? Try to throw you off of it.
He didn't he wasn't super defensive or anything about it. He seemed more I don't know what he...
Offended.
A little bit offended, a little bit he felt surprised to me, and not in a way that says, "Oh no, I've been caught." Just
Flin...
he was also reacting to the information for the first time in that meeting.
Is Flin generally well liked and supported?
It's kind of a mix. I mean, he's done some. You can't deny that he's done some good things for the hall while he's been in charge, and it was quite an effort of politicking to get the bans on the open practice of necromancy, at least at least the raising dead kind of necromancy overturned. So there was a lot of people that he had to get on board with that and convince. But I've always had suspicions about his motives and ambition ever since I've been here.
Perhaps he just makes a convenient scapegoat then.
Could be.
Who wouldn't suspect this master of necromancy?
It's possible. I don't know who else he's not involved, and I don't know who would be.
Well,
we know
I'll
anything
stick
about
with Thomas.
Jacob Amatha?
Make a history check. Anybody who wants to.
That's a 17.
Probably better than I'll do.
What else about this in the roll?
So with the 17, he's not a very controversial figure in town. He's generally well liked. People tend not to take him too seriously. You know, he's very like, if I had to describe him with a gesture. But one thing that does strike your mind, though, his last name, Amatha, is the same as the peninsula that is called the Amatha Peninsula that juts off to form one side of the Fortune Narrows, where Fort Os is located right on the tip. But it is a massive peninsula, you know, hundreds of miles, like 100 miles long, easily.
Don't
Is
like
there-
that protection.
And
I
I'll
mean,
say with
we
the
were-
17, you'd also know that, like, prior to the war and the economic collapse that came out of it many years later, there were more settlements up there, so it wouldn't be a super weird thing to have somebody with, you know, people tend to get named after places sometimes, and in the past there was more civilization up that way.
Interesting.
If we should get a second opinion on these robes, just so that we're not taking one person's word for it.
Do you know any other diviners you trust?
Isn't Velvetunde something of a diviner?
That's
A little
true.
bit.
That's true. Well, we can ask her.
I do also have magic that would allow for us to have truthful conversations.
We'll maybe confront Flynn at some point once we know more.
If he's that concerned about what people think of him, it might help clear his name, you know? He might actually volunteer to do something like that.
True. But I think we should gather more evidence before we do so. It'd be a waste to... were he guilty, it would be a waste to confront him and let him know we're on his trail when all we have is one easily disprovable piece of evidence.
I wouldn't be able to do it anyway, so not today. I mean,
Ryven, what do you think of Thomas Fullbarrow?
Oh, he's a pretty nice guy. All the full barrels have big personalities. He usually, if there's a ruin to be delved in or some sort of artifact to be recovered, he's your guy.
What's his school of magic?
He chairs the illusion department.
That's what I thought. Okay. Interesting. He had unexpected and interesting reactions to both the mention of Aldenlock and Calxos and the Mirk.
oh, I noticed that too. That was weird.
I must have missed that. I was a little bit focused on Flynn.
Yes, understandably. But perhaps we should question him a little bit.
I don't know where he went after the meeting, but I can tell you where his office. I mean, well, Wade, you know where all the offices are.
Yeah, he can take us. You should probably not draw any more attention to yourself. You're still operating largely within the hall, and it's best that nobody's concerned about you.
Yeah, I would like it to stay that way.
Okay. Well, I think we'll ask him some questions, and then if we have nothing else to do in town, we should probably help the people of Harbor Watch.
Well, if you find anything, let me know.
We will.
Right.
All right, Wade, take us to Full Barrel.
Yes, it's just down this way.
Exactly as Wade describes. It's only a short walk down the hall and up a flight of stairs to the second floor, where most of the office space seems to be. Down on the other end of the building from where Flynn's office is, there is a door with a little placard next to it that says Full Barrel and Illusion underneath it.
Okay. Before we knock, I'd like to listen at the door for a moment.
Sure, make a perception check.
Yeah, do that. That's a 26. Nat 20, baby.
Nice. If there is anybody in there, they are being dead silent.
Shit, what a waste.
You are extremely confident of that.
Well, may as well knock.
Wait a
Nothing?
minute. There's no answer.
All right, check the door.
Try the door.
It's locked.
Not for long. Thieves'
Not-
tools.
Make a Thieves' Tools check.
Yeah, that is a 19.
Check.
Em
the
has
tools
stood
are still
with-
there.
Emma stood with like her back to Learas, probably covering the entire space, at least for one direction.
So with a 19, you get your Thieves' Tools in there and start maneuvering around inside of the lock, and you are confident looking at the construction of this lock and all, you glance across the hall, there's this sort of the same lock on the door across the hall. You should be able to get this open. But you're like, and wait, I heard it click. It resists you. And your attempts to unlock it with Thieves' Tools.
Oh, shit. I guess I should have expected magic locks in the Hall of Weed. Can one of you do something about that?
Fireball.
Oh my god.
Cam is gonna try to cast Dispel Magic on it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you focus in on the door lock and can see there's a very faint, like, as some magic holding it closed gives way.
She says, I think I did it, but I can't put the lock back on, so they're gonna know that somebody was here.
Well, better be quick, find what we can, and get the hell out of here.
What if I stand here? Will you do that?
That's
And
a
I'll go caca if somebody comes.
Why don't you do something that would be less obvious?
How
about
I'm
you
sure
just-
I'm sure I'll think of something.
Just be yourself, be very loud. Say hello there, I was waiting to talk to you.
And oh,
Oh God! Now someone has to come down the hall.
But only if they're coming in here. Otherwise, just divert attention.
how do I know if they're coming in here?
If they try to get around you.
Oh, okay.
Is this one of those locks where you can like lock it and then close it from the other side?
It does not. Well, you haven't opened the door yet, but based on what you can see from the outside, it doesn't appear to be.
That's right. I could use the thieves' tools to lock
Well,
it. Have
I been into one of these offices before? If they're all
Oh yeah,
similar
that's
locks?
fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think this would be the kind of door where you need a key on both sides to lock or unlock it.
If the concern is mechanically locking it again, I can do that with the tools. It's just a matter of having dispelled it, though he might not notice that if he still has to use his magic key to open it. It would be working as expected, I assume.
Let's just do something. Let's, you know.
Anyway, I'm gonna open the door.
Right. Yeah. You open the door and you see this office is filled from floor to ceiling with shelves and like tables with knickknacks stacked on them. There's like some sort of interesting looking sphere underneath a glass dome on one of the tables, piles of books and papers. Looks like there's a map of some sort spread out on the main desk in the center of the room with inks and quills, writing utensils scattered around it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start looking around for any sort of documentation or anything that might point to his connection to any of these things.
Make an investigation check for me.
Yeah, okay.
And you can each do one, or one of you can do it with advantage.
Do you want to focus in on more magical things?
I almost feel like you need detect magic for that, which is what I don't have.
Wouldn't you still recognize some magic items if you saw them? I don't know. All right,
Potentially.
We'll just investigate. I rolled a 21 for investigation of things.
Nice.
And how'd Learas do?
19.
19 and a 21. Yeah, so spread out. The first thing most visible is the map that's spread out on the table. This is a map of Crystal Harbor and the surrounding area, including Harbor Watch in quite some detail. And it looks like there's a few points marked on the island that holds what remains of Harbor Watch, as well as a couple of dots here and there to the north and the south of the city proper as well.
Is there any notations with these dots or anything like that?
There appear to be a series of symbols next to them. I'll give you either history or just a straight intelligence. Just tell me which one you're doing. You'll get different things for.
I mean, they're the same for me either way.
Okay,
so,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I actually totaled a 20 though, surprisingly.
Hey.
I rolled an 18 on that one. So,
some of the places that are marked. So you notice there's a mark on Silverleaf Vineyards. There is a mark on Stillwater Watch. There is a mark where Broxel's used to be. It looks like it would be a lot of places that you have been and found weird stuff happening have marks on them, along with some places that you haven't been.
Yeah. This guy is fucking connected to this. Okay. I'm gonna quickly add these points of interest to my map. As a ranger who's traveling out a lot, I would be carrying a map. And I will also copy the symbols that I don't recognize.
What was the last place? Silverleaf, Stillwater Watch, and what was... Oh,
Where
Broxels.
Broxels Brews used to be.
Yeah.
Would there be any way to determine, like, how recently these dots had been added to the map?
I'll say with that investigation check, we can use that same investigation check for that. The mark on Stillwater Watch is still a little bit wet. Not like enough to smudge it, but you can tell like the ink has not fully set yet. Probably within the last 30 minutes or so.
And the others?
They would seem to be older.
Sorry, where's Stillwater Watch again?
That is
where we Elvedin Lock?
Yep, that's where you found the
Will-o-wisps.
Will-o-wisps up on the cliffside and the thick water.
Got it.
I mean, it would make sense if he knew Professor Locke. Like, he's sort of in the same line of work. If he's, doing ruins and stuff like that.
But Locke's been gone for a while. That's fair. He certainly knows of his research, I imagine. But this is all too convenient. I don't know. I mean, we just told him about the vineyard, and that mark's already been on there for a while.
Cam's not there. But Wade would know that we were sent there by the Hall of Weave, I'm pretty sure.
But they sent you to investigate. They didn't know what was there.
Yes. That's concerning. There's oh my god, there's just so much stuff. He's gonna look around and like realize that he's raising his voice and like we should probably not be in here for too much longer.
I agree. I'm gonna quickly search his desk, drawers and stuff.
Okay, yeah. 19 was it?
Yes.
You find a whole bunch of stuff that you would expect to find in a desk. Papers, writing implements, correspondence. With a 19, you find a secret little compartment sort of underneath the bottom drawer on the left side of the desk that is not quite closed all the way. And if you open it up, you find that it is empty, but it looks as though there was something that's been in here for a little while that had been removed. So you can see there's a little bit of, you can see an outline of a little bit of dust that's tracing around a rectangular object.
Wade, do you have any idea what might have been in this?
In the shape of a rectangle, which there's just way too many things that could be a stack of papers, it could be a jewelry box. That's not the...
Knowing something rectangular shaped that's been in this desk, in this box for a long time, is that enough information for a divination spell?
Maybe if the spell was done on the compartment.
Okay.
I'm not. Divination isn't really.
I mean, you can make an Arcana check if you would like.
Wait, is it's a 6. He's like, I don't
Hard to say.
I don't think about in divination all that frequently. That's Cam might know more, or Elvatinde, but
Okay.
I'm getting anxious just being in this room here.
Yeah, we should maybe get out of here. I'm concerned about whatever was in that, though. Let's get moving. And we will leave the office. And if there's nobody in the hallway still,
Just Cam.
okay. I would
Cam
like
is holding one of those basement eggs in her hand when you come out.
Why?
Does Learas say that to her?
Yep.
Oh, well, you said that if anyone comes, I should say that I was waiting for them. And then I thought, well, what would I be waiting for? And then I thought, well, I still don't really know much about these, so maybe it could be a conversation sort of piece.
Makes
That
sense.
was very smart.
Yeah, that was.
I like that.
It's very resourceful.
No one came, though.
Good.
That's
We
good.
found out a lot. And as I'm saying, I'm going to try to close and lock the door behind us.
Yeah. No check needed, actually. These locks themselves are quite simple.
Okay.
You're even more certain that there was some magic holding it shut.
Yeah. Well, if we can't put the magic back on, we should just get out of here and hope he doesn't notice.
That sounds like a good idea. Where are we going?
Well, I'd like to go to Harbor Watch
Now?
as soon as possible. If they need help, they need help.
Wouldn't we... How long does it take to get to Harbor Watch?
A bit.
A couple hours on a ferry, I believe.
It'd take most of the day on a ferry.
Yeah, it'd take a bit. Was there something else you wanted to do, Cam? I know there's like 5 million things that we have going on at any point in time.
I'm gonna make a deception check for Cam right now. Oh, it's an 18.
That's more than my passive insight, so.
More than my insight as well. So
She does seem like a bit off, but it probably doesn't really come across until she says, I actually have somewhere that I need to be tonight.
Oh, we'll join you then.
She looks at both of you. Okay.
All right. Well,
But
let's get
that
going.
does mean that we have to delay going to Harbor Watch.
If it's something that you need to do, then, you need to do, right?
Is there any hallways here that like she could see outside of, or like
Yeah.
any? Yeah.
So you're looking for like a window, or
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
to
there'd be a
gauge the
window.
time of day at the moment.
by now there's probably about 4 hours till it would be considered tonight.
If we have any other things that we could do in town, I have some time.
I have nothing, but
Well, what do we plan to do with all of this information that we gathered?
Investigate it?
Don't even.
How does one do that?
Well, and I assume we're walking. We're walking.
Yeah. We won't stand in front of his door. Have this conversation.
I did want to make sure that was out there. But once we're like outside and free of prying eyes, I'll kind of show her my map and say, well, I guess the first thing to do would be to check these points of interest that we haven't been to.
Where do those points, like the ones that we have not been to, like, is there anything of note there, or is it just like some place out in, is it in the city, or is it?
Ooh, he's listening to me.
Okay.
There are 3 points on Harbor Watch. There is one far to the south in the Tura Hills, and there is another somewhere up near where it is labeled the Kiana River.
Okay.
Which would be
south of Kiana River. That was south of the Kiana River in the woods.
Yeah, it's fairly close to where whatever Broxel is now.
That's what I was about to ask. I think he fucking knows where he is. That's concerning.
He wasn't very difficult for us to find. You would just have to know Broxel, right? That's how we found him?
Most of the things that we've been up to, Cam, in regards to the Mirk and these, whatever that crystal was called, I can't.
Mystical.
That. Why did Thomas Full Barrel have dots on his map relating to these places? Silverleaf Vineyards, Broxel's Brew. Well, I guess the Broxel's Brews probably would have had to have been, but I mean,
Well, isn't it
possible...
someone's job here to keep track of these things? You are the Hall of Weave, aren't you?
But we just told them about them today.
Well, not Broxel's and
no, but certainly many of them.
Not Broxel's, but the Silverleaf Vineyards. That dot was older. The only dot that looked new was Stillwater Watch. Now, I can understand, Broxel's, right? That probably wouldn't have been updated until after the incident.
But Broxel's location now, that's also something we didn't give them. And we were the ones officially hired to investigate it.
So, I feel like Thomas had been researching the Mirk and the crystal.
The Stillwater Watch one does. That is very concerning because we were kind of the ones who saw that.
Well, that one he just he updated that one today.
That's the only one that was updated today.
But that's still in relation to the other things. That makes it more obvious that that's connected to the other things then.
Yes, which is concerning. The fact that there's a dot at Silverleaf Vineyards. The Broxel's Brews and Stillwater Watch were updated probably recently, as well as the one in the woods, right? If I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but I'm assuming he updated the one with Broxel's Brews in the woods after the incident. But how did he know about the woods?
And he was the one that was acting strange about, was it Whitlock? And
Alden
Eldon?
Locke.
Professor Locke, yeah. Yeah.
And Calxos and the Mirk. That's why
Which
we're investigating
is
him,
all
and we find evidence that he's already got a map connecting points of interest regarding all of this.
It's all starting to come together.
Well, it's a good thing we're going to Harbor Watch next, because there's 3 points of interest there. We'll check them when we get there.
Do you think we made a mistake in telling the Hall of Weave of all this stuff?
No. If we hadn't, we wouldn't have learned what we just learned.
I don't know if Flynn is connected to this anymore, but I also don't know how you would. But the robes.
So? They're his robes. That doesn't mean he put them there, does it?
But he also denied.
I mean, if they're that old. Can you remember in exact detail a shirt you wore 20 years ago? Let alone 100?
I can. Mind you, I didn't have very many clothing options up in the mountains, so...
Well, that makes sense. Also, those uniforms are pretty standard.
But that one was before. It was the before times.
I understand. It is suspicious. I haven't cleared him of guilt, but I have a primary suspect, and it's not him. I think he's a scapegoat because he's
Maybe?
the obvious.
That's what it
convenient
feels
choice.
like. What it feels like.
Can you remind me, did we say anything about Alara Whitlock living in Sabo to anybody? Or
I
is
don't
that...
think we...
No.
We might have mentioned the name, but I don't think we mentioned where Alara Whitlock was.
Right. Well, we could talk about this all day. It's not going to gain us any more intel. So let's be about our business, and then we'll investigate further tomorrow.
We also have to pick up a package at the Hall of Works before we head out to Harbor Watch.
I had forgotten about that. Oh,
All right. Right.
All right, so where are we heading next?
Package, I guess.
yeah,
we
we'll
got
get
like
the package, and then we'll go to
3.5
Ken's
hours to
meeting.
kill.
Yeah, it's easy enough. You swing by and can let them know that you're planning on heading out there within the next day and going ahead and picking up the package. It's not super large, maybe about like this big box, like a little crate.
Cam will hold on to that.
What is it?
Oh, it's just some supplies, a couple of potions, things, assorted tools,
Makes sense.
different supplies you need when clearing out a town that's apparently overrun with giant crabs.
Hope they're tasty.
Wonder if they are. That'd be convenient.
It's like a crab opener. It's a large one.
Just a giant.
Let the local farms know to produce extra butter.
Yes, some butter. We brought you
There's a-
supplies.
There's a great garlic industry in the farms outside of Crystal Harbor. All right. Yeah, you get the package, futz around for a few hours, and you accepting your mysterious invitation?
Yeah, I don't know if they ask Cam anything, but she's not inclined to share. She's like, oh, I think it's probably time to go now.
All right.
Let's get going. And she starts walking towards, what was it, the lucky lady.
The Lucky Lady, a tavern and inn on the bank of the river Diaspor in the Ordocks.
Ooh, fancy.
I'll go. Or excuse me, not the Ordocks. Jump here, the other side of town. I know my own lore, guys. All right.
That's like the fancy side of town, right?
Fancier.
Nice.
Gems over ore, you know?
No. All right. You head that way just as the sun is starting to set and it's starting to get dark. The Lucky Lady is it's a moderately sized tavern. It looks like there's 2 stories. It doesn't sound like it's very busy right now. You can hear a little bit of activity inside, but it's not particularly raucous.
Yeah, I think I think Cam goes in and she turns to Wade and Learas and says, "Could you find us somewhere to sit?"
Yeah, sure. Are you getting the drinks then?
Yeah, what would you like?
I don't know. Do they have a signature drink in a place like this?
I don't think Cam's ever been here. So, that sounds like something that they would probably do. I could ask.
Well, I'm curious if they do, and if not, then some wine will do.
Wade?
I don't know. Do they got like a wheat ale?
Be surprised if they didn't.
Me too.
Okay, she kind of twirls, and it seems like she's definitely scanning around to see if there's anyone who like sticks out to her.
Make a perception check for me, why not?
As she approaches the bar.
Oh.
Perception is where? That's a 19.
You're looking around. There's nobody in here. There's like 3 or 4 patrons in here. 2 people at a table having some dinner, and 1 person by himself at the bar with a mug of what looks like some sort of light-colored ale. And behind the bartender, there is a rather short woman with like curly, like bouncy red hair, and yeah. Hey, welcome to the Lucky Lady, Lydia. What can I get for you?
Do you have anything that's like a house special?
Do we have a house special? I can tell you've never been here before. We're known for our house brewed seasonal ales.
Oh, I'll try one of each.
Well, we've only got the one for the season right now.
Oh, okay. Well, are they perhaps wheat ales?
They are.
Then I'll have 3 of those.
And she gets to pouring them and says, you're very sparkly.
Thank you. I get told that a lot, and that's kind of why I dress this way.
There's somebody in the other room over there who's looking to meet you.
I was just gonna ask. She goes, I was just gonna ask. When she says the other room, is it like another section of the bar that they're in, or is it like there's a closed door that she gestures to?
Yeah, she kind of gestures with her head, and there are 2 closed doors on that side of the building. One of them, just based on the angle she's moving her head, you kind of guess that she's gesturing towards the one that's closer to the front of the building that you entered in from, rather than the one that you kind of have to walk behind the bar to get in.
Okay. She goes, how much will that be?
Oh, that's a silver each, and she puts the three of them down in front of you. And then she gestures over towards the other side of the building, opposite the doors. And if you want, there's a looks like a statue, sort of a statue that's built into a fountain. It's not super large, maybe 2 or 3 feet in diameter for the basin. And if you want to tip the lucky lady, good things will happen.
She lights up at the prospect of this. I do like good things. Okay, and she turns and she's gonna head towards Learas and Wade, and kind of set the drinks out on the table. It's a special and it's a wheat ale.
That's fortunate.
Come to the right place.
As it is fall and just after harvest time, if Oktoberfest style ales existed in here to be called after Oktoberfest, that's what would be up right now.
She says, the lady at the bar said that if you tip the lucky lady, and she points towards the statue, that good things will happen.
I've never believed much in luck, but I suppose I could use some.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We're going through a lot of stuff. I think I would like some good things to happen.
Learas will take a sip of his ale and then go to see this. You said it was a fountain?
It's like a little statue sitting in a basin, holding its hand up, and there's some water kind of running down the arm.
Kama's gonna follow.
Are there any coins like on it, around it? Like, do I get a sense of what people normally give? Or
yeah, there are a mix. If you look in the basin of the fountain, there's a mix of mostly gold, but an occasional silver piece.
I wonder if you give more, the more chance you have something lucky happen.
It's an interesting prospect. I'll take 2 gold coins and place them like on her hand.
Nice. Yeah, you do that, and they sort of, the hand's at a little bit of an angle with the water flowing down it, and after a moment they slowly slide down her hand and into the water, and you feel reassured. You feel confident. You feel like things are going to go your way. You have a luck point for the next 24 hours or until you use it.
Cool.
Cam is going to take out a platinum piece, and she's going to take out some of her gold glitter, and she's going to put it on the platinum piece and then put it in.
Yeah, a very similar thing happens to you, but at a much higher coin per luck point rate.
I think that worked.
I was thinking of doing the same thing, except for with the glitter.
You can borrow some of mine.
I'll just do the platinum piece.
Very similar. All the three of you have a luck point for 24 hours or until used.
Nice. Cam kind of turns her head towards the door that she was pointed to earlier and says, I'll join you guys in a bit. Okay?
What is this secret thing you're off to do?
I actually don't know yet.
What do you mean you don't know?
It hasn't been explained to me. But you guys are here, so if anything bad happens, just... I don't think anything bad will happen, though, because I'm feeling very lucky now.
All right, well, I guess I'll leave you to it then.
Cam is gonna head towards the door, and before she goes through the door, she holds on to the little locket where she put the drawing that Learas gave her, and just kind of takes a deep breath, and then exhales, and then she walks through.
Yeah. You open up the door, and it looks like in here, this appears to be somebody's lived-in quarters. This room runs about 2/3 of the width of the building. There's a bed in one side, a desk with, it looks like maybe a ledger spread out on it, bookcase with some books, like all the sorts of things you would expect to see of somebody's living quarters. And there is a little like a coffee table with 4 chairs set around it. It looks like somebody has pulled in from the bar area. And sitting in the one chair that is off by itself on the other side of the coffee table from where you enter is a halfling man with some short hair and a reddish beard, who you recognize from your meeting earlier today as Thomas Fullbarrel.
Ruh-roh.
It'll be fine, because as soon as Cam goes over there, Learas is going to casually stealth up to the door and listen anyway.
It seems like he wanted all of us here, despite his message. She goes...
Just
she
you.
looked... you told me not to tell anyone.
Well, all right. Well, I guess I was lacking precision.
You wanted me to bring them here discreetly.
Yes.
She's gonna turn immediately to the door where I
Oh,
guess
good.
Learas already is.
Well, I mean, you don't have to go. We can just.
Well,
We can speak. They don't have to be here if you need to go get them.
Oh, well, I think I would rather them be here. Not that I don't trust you, but they're much better at this sort of thing. She doesn't seem to know fully what she's talking about.
He looks a little perplexed.
One moment, and yeah, she's gonna turn and she opens the door as Learas standing there.
Learas is leaning against the wall right next to the door.
She's going to grab him and pull him in. And then look around for Wade.
Just like, whoa!
Wade will probably have been looking in that direction. He'll probably casually stroll over after seeing Learas just get pulled inside.
Yeah, Learas gets pulled in and past Cam to see who is inside the room.
Oh, Thomas, was it?
Yes, Learas. Thank you for coming on such a cryptic message.
Well, to be honest, I didn't know that that's what we were doing. Cam was very tight-lipped about the whole ordeal.
Well, I did tell her to not tell anyone, but I didn't specify that she could tell you and just to sort of come surreptitiously. But I guess that's on me.
You have to be very literal with Cam sometimes.
I'll remember that if I need to message her again. She was just the easiest one to see of the 3 of you when y'all were leaving. on account of being tall
And sparkly.
and sparkly.
Well, theirs can be sparkly too.
Yes, but I wasn't at the moment.
I feel like sparkly's more sort of your default state than it is his. Not that I know you very well, sir.
No, you are absolutely correct. In fact, most times I rather go unnoticed.
That's usually how I travel as well. But please sit down. I think we have a lot to talk about, and we might be able to find common cause.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna sit at the table, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be necessary, and I'm starting to doubt my theory as well, but once again, thanks, David.
Just when we think we're cracking it.
Yeah, I know, right? But I am going to kind of be ready to, draw blades at a moment's notice. Like a perpetually held action.
Gotcha. Just very on alert. So, how do you like my sister's ale?
Oh, this is your sister's place.
Lydia Full Barrel, Thomas Full Barrel, the red, the halfling.
I didn't have the pleasure of meeting her, but
she lets me use her bedroom from time to time to meet people.
I hope it's not that kind of meeting, because
It's, well, I have no intention of that.
All right then. What is your intent exactly?
Well, I get sort of the sense from your meeting from our meeting earlier today, that you felt like you might have been the only ones that were looking into the strange goings on around town and the greater surrounding area with the Mirk and the Mistglow Prism and all that. And so I just let you know that you're not the only ones looking into it. I've been keeping tabs on these strange findings as well. I've never quite trusted Flin with the return to necromancy and all that, pushing for raising the dead, putting them to work. It doesn't really make sense from an economic perspective in my mind. We don't have people anyway. Once you mentioned the names of the researcher that went missing up at Stillwater Watch, I knew that you were sort of really on the track of something, and I thought it might be good to put our heads together and see if there was any more information that we could both share with each other. And I brought you a little something that I heard little birdie told me that you've been looking for. And he pulls out a small book, a rectangular book about this big, and
Whoopsie.
Puts it down.
You hear about locks suddenly becoming unmagical? It's weird, right?
Strange goings on.
I think Skelgy's behind it.
Oh man, I was like, man, they're gonna love this later if they go talk to him.
Hey, he's still a suspect in my mind. He could just be putting the investigators onto Flynn's. You never know. You never know. But go on.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I derailed myself with that.
He's showing us this book.
Yeah. So I heard from a little birdie in the library that you were looking for the work of Alden Locke and his surviving companions on the ill-fated expedition to Stillwater Watch about 50 years ago. I have it here. I heard that you had been gone looking around the library for some things, and
that's right.
Deduced that this might be it. You didn't find it, obviously. I had been hiding it from other people who might be looking for it. But I feel as though the three of you could be trusted with it if that is what you're after.
It certainly is.
Well, it's pretty interesting read, pretty nothing didn't crack anything open for me, but it did detail a little bit of the properties of the Mistglow Prism and what it can be used for, how to handle it, things like that.
Well, that would definitely be useful to us, as we've interacted with it on a number of occasions.
Can't say I'm so fortunate myself.
Yeah, well, you may be fortunate for having avoided it. It seems very dangerous.
I'm sure it is, but it's sort of my job.
Yes, I understand that. Still, not to mention the fact that it somehow seems connected to Calxus, and the last thing we need is more powerful wizards falling prey to whatever they're up to.
Yes, and that's where I'm hoping we can share some evidence on, is exactly what it is that they're up to and what their game is. So you've been quite astute in coming to some of the similar conclusions that I have about the properties of the Mirk and how it can be used and its connection to Calxus. I don't think that this is the return of Calxus. Nothing I've been able to find has signaled to me that this is the same entity. Never was, from what I'm able to research, one for subterfuge. Was more of a fling a horde of skeletons at you sort of problem solver.
Yes, but how did that turn out for them last time?
Well, it almost worked. It very nearly worked.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe it's a new tactic. Maybe out of necessity.
But then the question is, why now? It's been 500 years-ish. Why now? What's different? The only thing I can figure what's different is now there's undead around.
You're not wrong. Still, I don't know. We suspected Diabold as well, and he's not off the suspect list, that's for sure. But something about him, it just doesn't feel right.
I can't prove this. I think he's a pawn. I think he's being manipulated.
That is possible. And who do you propose as pulling his strings?
I can't say for sure. Few years before we went through the legal maneuvering of getting the ban on the animation of the dead overturned, I heard him and Jacob having some sort of conversation about that. I didn't think much of it at the time. And, be quite honest, I doubt that man could manipulate anyone.
That's the diviner, right?
Yeah. That's really the only lead I've got on, the only suspicion I've got. It's not even a lead on who might be involved in this besides Flin, who is very much responsible for the raising of the dead in town.
Yes. Sorry, he overheard them discussing what exactly?
Conversation about the necromancy ban.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't misunderstanding that.
That would have been about 2 years ago, something about like that.
Well, I mean, it was obvious that that's something that he wanted to do.
But why?
Well, at least Flin is of the opinion that it could do a lot for revitalizing the area. We've got all these abandoned buildings, lots of fields without enough people to work in them. If there were more bodies around to do work, might be able to revitalize the economy a little bit. Might even be if we could get Yunura on board, it might be practical to have a train staffed by. I think his ultimate goal was to have a caravan staffed by the undead to travel through the bog, through the mountains to Yunura, bringing trade goods and services through an area that would be too dangerous for a living creature like us.
But that would require us making very powerful undead. That would be
or a lot of them.
Yeah, either way, I don't like that idea.
It was. It's a very divisive idea for a lot of different reasons. And like I said earlier, I can't really figure out the economic sense. I just, there's work that needs to be done that's being done by people that get paid for it. And if there's people that don't need to get paid to do it, if people just put it to work for that and not pay the laborers they were paying to do it, and that would not result in a net increase in work, but a net decrease, doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. It would certainly line his pockets, though.
Oh yeah, it would. I have no doubt. I feel as though his intentions are good, but perhaps misguided. Perhaps you've got one tool, you've only got a hammer. Everything looks like a nail.
Well, it won't matter for long. Crystal Harbor will be revitalized once the straits are opened.
You seem awfully confident of that.
It's been my life goal.
And not to put a damper on it too much, but it's been the life goal of a lot of people over the last 150 years.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, more power to you.
I won't attempt it until I know I'm ready. I'm not a fool.
That is wise. So, that's the research. That's the short version of what I know, what I suspect.
Well,
is there anything you didn't share in the meeting that you think might be wise to get into the hand, information be wise to get into the hands of other people that are working on this?
Possibly, but we still don't know who we can trust.
That's fair enough. Well, if you do come to trust me, I'll make myself available to you.
You said...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, this isn't related to this exactly. The bog, it's too dangerous for people, even adventurers like us.
Well, there is a it's called Merrig's Bog for a reason, right? And that's because I don't think she likes it to get out too much. There's legend has it that there's a great powerful hag that lives at the center of the bog. Doesn't like people walking through it unless they're coming to her on business.
Yeah, I've dealt with hags before. Not fun.
Very tricky.
They always like to haggle.
He's right, though.
That joke left me feeling haggard.
Sorry, that was just a personal aside. I've never been that far.
Well, the mountains prevent enough of a barrier for most people.
Well, I think we need to figure out other places that are being affected by Mirk, and perhaps misglow prisms, and maybe we'll find more evidence that we can piece things together.
Well, there's a few places around where there's been a little bit strange goings on. You may have noticed that our excuse me. You may have noticed that the Chair of the Conjuration Department, Talindra, was unable to attend. She's down in the Tora Hills, excavating something down there that we suspect might be another instance of this Mistglow prism that she mentioned. And then there's been all sorts of interesting things going on the island of Harborwatch, which is what I've been concerned with a little bit. There's been reports of rats that can speak.
Yeah, we heard about that. We're actually going out there to help them with that tomorrow.
Yeah, I did see one of them once. It's a very, very strange experience being spoken to by a rat. In so much as it speaks more directly into your mind than anything else.
That's a psychic rat.
Yeah, you see a little transparent skull with like a glowing brain. It's very unsettling. Loads of them. Don't know where they're coming from.
This sounds like it most certainly is connected to some of the things we've been experiencing.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Anything where there's been some sort of strange change or mutation of a creature, I've been keeping track. I've got a map in my office where I've been keeping track of this sort of thing.
What was the conversation with the rat like?
It was oddly well spoken. It figured to be primarily concerned with cheese or grain or things like that, but it was asking me if I had found if I had seen its breath. It's like I don't really understand exactly what it was asking me for. There was some sort of group of its brethren it was looking for.
Oh, good sir, have you seen my brethren?
More or less.
Interesting. Well, I'll let you know what we figure out from that.
If you are heading out there, do be careful. The giant crabs are nasty.
Well, it's all about finding a soft spot in the shell.
Fortunately, they're not particularly observant, and I was able to sneak past them.
Good. That's good to know. Perhaps I'll have luck sneaking up on them then.
Have you noticed any weaknesses? Or did you just sneak on by?
I mostly just snuck on by, but from some of the guards that fought him, big hammer.
I'll
Seems to
find
be
any
effective.
weaknesses they have. Don't worry. That's what I do.
And when he's gesturing giant crabs, you know, he's a halfling, so he's like doing his full like wingspan here, like a probably 3 or 4 feet.
All right, so I'm gonna try a little gambit here, and if I need to roll things, like, by all means.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm gonna try to get him to out what he knows about Broxel's location. So basically, you're just gonna say something along the lines of, now that we told them that Brox was alive and has wandered off, do you think that they're going to scry on him and track him down?
I'm a step ahead of you. I've already done that. When I heard that he'd gone missing, I scryed on him. I found him out in the woods.
How was he when you last saw him?
It took me a little ways to get out there. He's out in his thicket. He seemed like he was doing well and content with whatever free happened to him.
We were talking to him about how he should open up shop there.
Oh yeah, it'd be
Not a lot of foot traffic out there, though.
not plants.
He would be able to craft a lot of things, and then can have
Ship
someone
them to
pick
us
them
and
up.
we can sell them.
See, we learned a lot from our friend Anath about business.
Yeah, we'll open up a potion shop here in Crystal Harbor, and we'll open up a crab restaurant in Harborwatch.
Well, after Broxel's gone, we'll be needing another one.
Well, no idea, actually. Why don't we just make some money and forget about this council?
Yeah.
Always an option.
One of Cam's goals is to have money.
Have money. We'll discuss that for sure.
Just to keep buying her glitter and her shiny clothing.
Yeah, and I need a ship, a good one. But can we deliberate for a moment?
Of course. You need the room.
Step out.
All right, I'll be here.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anymore. He's being so forthcoming with information. I think.
He had a lot of the same ideas that you guys had, though.
Yeah, and he's not hiding anything. He's being.
Perhaps there's still an unknown entity that we haven't encountered yet.
That's true. That's true. My concern was that maybe he's the culprit and perhaps he's pushing us towards Flin because we want someone else to take the fall, but that theory is supported by toothpicks at this point.
Yeah, he seemed to think that Flin's not entirely at fault.
Do you think we should be open with him?
Him or Flin?
With Thomas.
I don't even.
What's that?
I don't even like. I don't know what to believe anymore.
For fuck's sake, David.
Thomas, Flin, Jacob, tells
Yeah.
us what the is going on.
Yeah.
I don't trust
Okay.
anybody anymore.
And then there's all of those crazy creatures that we've encountered, and now we're hearing about psychic rats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff happening.
Well, those things that attacked Altinde were all psychically inclined. So I'm almost certain they have the same source.
I wonder if a Neth will end up with psychic abilities.
Who can say? All right.
Well, what else do we have to tell him?
Well, for one, we need to tell him to fix his log.
I suppose we wouldn't want him wasting time trying to figure out who got into his office, or maybe blaming Flin.
Yeah. Also, we were able to discover so much information. If our enemies do the same.
I feel like telling them about the lock is fine.
Yeah. And, I mean, there's other details we've left out. Do we want another intelligent mind investigating the matter?
That would be helpful, considering I don't feel like I'm very much use in this area.
Well, you've kept us alive this long, and it's not like we've really figured anything out anyway. All right, well, I'll head back in and be like, Thomas, we have something to tell you.
What's that?
Your office.
Yeah?
You're going to need to reapply the magical lock to it.
We were getting some suspicious vibes from you at the meeting, and now it's clear why.
Yeah,
Well,
we suspected you, and we investigated you.
that is extremely enterprising. Well done. Thank you for letting me know. I would have noticed that, and well, it would have taken me a little while to figure out who did that. So thank you for your forthrightness on that. I will make sure to reapply that when I get back.
Good. And
Which I should probably do before too long, because those locks are not very solid without a little extra help.
yeah, they really are quite easy. I honestly could have done it in my sleep.
Well, hence the magic. Maybe I'll look into upgrading the physical lock as well.
It's a good idea. You know, a good solid deadbolt. But I appreciate you sharing this all with us, and we will use you as a resource if we can, and we'll be sure to share any information that we think you can help with.
Of course, and it's not the most surreptitious, but since she's my sister and all, but if you need to meet with me without being seen asking me to meet with me, you can ask her.
If we're suspecting Jacob, possibly, maybe, are there any other local diviners that would be able to, divine the robes that, I had displayed during the meeting?
I got a few people that might be able to help with that. I can ask around and put you in touch if there's anybody who's willing, able, and trustworthy. And for my memory, did you tell him what Jacob told you about the robes?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Second
trust
opinion.
anybody anymore. Yes.
Why'd I ask where you got the first opinion?
I was just talking about Jacob.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jacob was the first
Well,
opinion.
he didn't know that. Jacob said they were Flins.
I didn't. What?
I'm confused. That's not him. That's me being confused.
Okay, I was gonna call him out. I couldn't say that.
Aha!
Aha! No, very good, very good. All right, well, I'll ask around. Jacob was a very capable diviner.
I mean,
you don't trust him.
Not entirely.
We can't trust what he tells us about things he divines, right?
Do you know what Jacob's, or what I guess, what I and Thomas know of Jacob's opinion on Flin? If there was like any infighting or any possible Jacob wants to take over as head of the.
So I'd say you don't. Just roll a d20 for me.
D20.
You don't go to divination classes.
That's a 2.
Yeah, you haven't really interacted with him much. There's no hostility between him and Flin that you're aware of. And, you've kind of been keeping your finger on the pulse of that. Just how you connected up with Ryven and Mulberry. Both not being big fans of Flin's.
Well, I think we've learned all we can tonight. We should get some rest and leave at dawn.
Right, well, I'm gonna head out as well. Safe travels in the morning.
there a midnight ferry to Harbor Watch?
Are you asking me or him or anyone?
Yes, just in general.
Yes.
So you would know. You could probably find someone to charter a boat. At this hour, there's no frequent transit back and forth. There's a boat that goes out there every few days to take, rotate the watch, take some supplies, come back. It's not like
we're near the piers.
Yeah. Right, well, I'm not going to be seen leaving here, so I'll say good night to you all and safe travels. And he makes some arcane gestures in the air and teleports out of there.
Oh shit. That's a high level spell.
Well, it might not be the spell teleport.
Could have just been Misty Step and he's like outside.
Smoke bomb!
He's at the window.
Yeah.
No, it was you can make an Arcana check if you want.
I wouldn't know. I mean, I have some magic, but not his kind.
I would love to learn how to do something like that someday. I wonder if I could.
That would be really handy. The best I can do is magically enhance my ability to jump. Which does come in handy, but it's not the same as teleporting.
Does a lot of your magic end up being things that you could learn from, like, aquatic animals?
I mean, some of it.
Does he say it like that?
So the reason I made that face, and this is probably going to divert us for a minute or two, is I thought of an aquatic version of Misty Step called Moisty Step.
Step Moisty, my friends.
That's why I giggled.
I mean, some of it, yes.
Why do you seem offended? I was going to say that I thought that's very cool.
I don't know, just not everything's about being a Triton, you know?
Like what things?
Like, I'm a very talented hunter and investigator, and, I've learned to commune with nature in a lot of ways.
Triton's not usually good at those things?
You could learn hunting from a shark.
The sharks would make terrible hunters.
So I didn't finish my drink yet. Should we?
None of us did, actually. The drinks are still...
So we gotta go finish.
I mean, your
our
drinks are still there. I've got mine right here.
He's been drinking it the whole time.
You couldn't have brought all of ours, though.
I only have the two hands.
Hey, could I get a round of perception checks from y'all, please?
Why?
We'll see.
I'll go with
18, I guess, my passive.
Yeah, passive.
18.
So, I'll say, Cam, with your 18, you hear very distantly, very faintly, what sounds like somebody shouting, followed by the sound of splintering wood. And I'm going to go ahead and open up this map, and I think that's a pretty good time to take a break.
Yeah.
We'll be back here with whatever that was.
Some combat.
As soon as I find the break screen. We'll be back after the break.
Get some water, get some snacks, do whatever you got to do. We're going to be back here in a little bit. Welcome back. Hope you are feeling refreshed, because we're about to maybe get into some combat. I don't know. They could run away.
Do we want this jaunty tavern music as our combat music for this fight?
Up to y'all.
Can you just remix it into jaunty tavern music with an edge to it?
Yes, I'll do that right now.
We'll
I'll get on
change to
that.
the DJs and
We'll
music
wait.
category.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. I could change it to cyberpunk combat music. That's the best I can do.
Maybe not yet.
2000.
All right. But so what's happened so far is Cam's the only one that heard this so far. There was what sounded like breaking wood, and then somebody shouting. Just like maybe one person, maybe two.
Did anyone of you hear that?
Or what?
No.
The
what?
shouting.
You
No.
stop and listen a moment. Learas, you hear it now too, that it's been pointed out to you. It sounds like somebody is... It sounds like it's moving, maybe getting closer. Can't make out quite what they're shouting about yet.
Maybe
but
somebody's fighting like a tavern brawl. That's exciting.
I mean, we should
Maybe
try.
Learas is just going to open the door and head straight out into the tavern and see if it's in there.
looks like the person who's sitting by himself at the bar is kind of perked up and kind of looking around. Can't really seem to figure out, like, trying to see if he can see anything out a window. But otherwise, it seems to be business as usual in here. It sounded like, Cam, it was coming from the direction of the docks.
I don't think it's in there. It sounds like it's coming from the docks.
Is there a dockside door? Am I reading this map right?
There is a dockside door, yeah. Next to, like,
Alright.
that hearth.
Yeah, I'm going to run to that door.
I really hope it's not any of those cranium rats. She says as she follows you.
I mean, they sounded like they were respectable individuals.
Yeah, so you poke your head out the door, Learas, and you see it's gotten pretty dark by now, but there's still enough light for you to make things out. There is just this enormous crab down the end of the dock, and there is a man who is like running from it as it's kind of like
So
scuttling towards him and knocking
Why not?
barrels and things out of its way. Make a perception check for me.
Okay. 16.
I'll say you notice something large moving under the water parallel to the dock.
Bigger than these crabs.
Much bigger. That feels like a good time to roll initiative.
Yeah, let's do that. That is 23 for Learas.
out of 10.
Hang on.
Sort of in line with how I'm rolling.
23, 10. How's Cam doing? You're on mute, Vix.
Oh, 14.
14. All right. Cool.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, we have initiative.
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
Fancy.
That's new.
fancy.
There was an update. Cool. So, Learas, you are up first.
Neat. I don't see any grid or way of telling distance on this map.
You should have access to a ruler over in the side panel on the left.
Okay.
Or by pressing the R key, apparently.
If you're a pirate.
Yarr!
Wow.
Unbelievable. Well, Lyris will run to there, and I will cast Hunter's Mark on the giant crab bee over here. And with my longbow, since I can't make the distance, I will knock an arrow and fire.
So Wade and Lyris, you have a inspiration.
Yes, I have that on my sheet. That is a nat 1, so I'm going to use that inspiration.
All right.
That's going to be 22 to hit.
Surprisingly enough, that absolutely does hit a giant crab.
I figured. Also, while this creature is marked by my Hunter's Mark, I can know whether it has any immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities, and what they are.
It doesn't.
Neat. Well, he's going to line up his shinies and be like, it doesn't look like there's anything special about them. They're just crabs.
All right.
Oh, and I need to roll damage, I suppose.
You do.
That's going to be 12 piercing.
12. Very nice. Yeah, you find its mouth parts are kind of around, and you time it just right. One of your arrows just hits it straight in its little crab mouth. It looks like that hurt it pretty badly, but it is still moving around.
Neat. I have extra attack, so I'm just going to go ahead and fire another one. Oh, that was damage, not my dice. Attack roll. Ooh, yeah, that's going to hit it. That's a 27 to hit.
Oh yeah.
And that's going to be for another 12 piercing damage, actually.
How would you like to skewer this crab?
Yeah, the first arrow goes right in its mouth, and as it's reeling back from it, it goes up and exposes an area of soft shell that Lyris can make out from over here. And he's like, oh, that's where they're vulnerable, and just lets off another arrow, just goes right into it, immediately limp.
Boom. Giant crab A is no more. All right. Cam, you're up. Unless there's anything else you can do, Lyris.
No, that's end of turn for me.
Okay. Cam is going to move up just behind Lyris, and she is going to she holds on to her pendant on her neck and lets out this sort of angelic noise that seems like it's accompanied by harp somehow. And she is going to cast spiritual weapon, but at 3rd level.
Very nice.
Right behind the crab. I'm bring that down. And I'm going to use my inspiration because I also rolled a nat 1. That is an 18 to hit.
18 will get it done.
Nice. Feel so freaking
Also,
rusty.
When Cam comes up to Lyris, he points out, there's something bigger in the water over there, so be careful.
Maybe a bigger crab. A mama crab.
Could be. I don't really know.
Okay, so that's an extra d8, right? 3, 8. 8 plus 4, so that's 12. It's 12 damage.
12 damage. You give it a good, solid hit.
Yeah, so this golden sort of, if anybody's watched Card Capture Sakura, pretty much just her friggin' card captor one sort of comes up behind it and is pulled towards the crab. That is end of turn for her, I believe.
All right. So more motion in the water as some of these crabs start moving and pulling themselves up onto the docks. You're now getting swarmed by giant crabs.
Not the first time, unfortunately.
Just to keep it simple, let's see. There's 4 of them, and each of them are 2 of each of them are going to go for either of you. If that made sense the way I said that.
Yeah, works for me.
So Learas, we got a 15, which I don't believe hits.
Not even close. He's out of there before he even closes the claw.
And ooh, that's gonna be a 19 on that one.
Just
all right. It's not a particularly big hit. That's going to be 3 points of bludgeoning damage, but it sort of like comes in and clocks you in the leg with its claw and clamps around it. You are now grappled, my friend.
Learas is like, as he's leaping away from one, he goes right into the other one. He's like, oh, just like they say, out of the water into the claw.
And then Cam, we've got those ones know what they're doing. That's going to be a 22 and a 17 to hit on you.
Oh, those were almost both hits, but only the 22.
All right. That's going to be 4 points of bludgeoning for you from the one that hits, and you are also grappled as it just like clamps onto your leg.
Don't get too close, Wade. There you
go. That's the crabs. Then Wade, you're up.
I'm gonna pop my head out of the doorway here. Oh. Based off of like they came from out of the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
If based off like the amount of water that probably came off their shells and stuff, if I cast Fireball, do I believe that that area would catch fire?
It's certainly possible.
Just create water right after.
It's probably less likely. I'll give the dock advantage on its Constitution saving throw.
Whatever, you know. Fireball.
All right, so they need to make some saves.
That'd be a dexterity of 15 to save.
Well, Crab A makes it, but I don't think it only has one hit, or Crab B, excuse me, makes it, but it only has 1 hit point left. See the... Yeah, all the rest of them fail.
Okay, roll for damage. That is 27.
27, yeah, that's enough to cook all of them. There is some just around you, and some lovely roasted crab now on the dock. And let's see, the dock...
What was the tavern owner's name?
Lydia,
get butter!
Roy, coming up! Yeah, and the dot gets a 19 on its Constitution savings throw, so it resists catching fire.
Nice.
Beautiful. Hide these crabs since you have taken care of them.
Just have to remember how many have been cooked already. For later.
Anything else on your turn, Wade?
You said there was something else out there.
Yo. In the water.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's at this point, unless there's anything else you're planning on doing, because it is their turn next.
I'm gonna step back into the tavern.
Something truly massive you can see is moving under the water, disturbing the surface, getting closer to the docks. Come on.
That looks pretty cool.
Pikachu.
Not to be
And
confused with Jewel.
You can see there's this one here that climbs up out of the water. It's not even needing to really fully climb up out of the water. It's kind of still in there, and it's just so tall that however deep the water is here, it is like towering over the docks. And then you can also hear another one clamber and pull itself up onto the dock further north.
Oh boy, there's two of them.
I mean, these things not normally in the bay, right?
No, this is not a creature that you are familiar with.
Okay, that's what I figured.
But they look very crustacean-like. They've got very large pincers and similar like mandibles that move to reveal just like a horrible pile of proboscis, I guess.
Ugh, these things are ugly.
And one of them is also out for you. All right, let's see. And that is going to be... All right, cool. First one is going to miss. The second one is going to be... Oh, that is a very good roll. That's going to be a 25 to hit.
Ooh. All right.
And that will be... 14 points of bludgeoning damage as it just comes at you with one of these giant pincers. You successfully dodge out of the way of the first one, but the second one, much like the crab, comes in from the other direction and just clunk right around the waist.
Ugh.
And you are now grappled.
Mm-hmm.
Please make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay. I don't like that. That's 18.
18. Yeah, there's just this horrible like ichor that's dripping off of these like tentacles where its mouth would be dripping onto you, and you can feel it kind of burning your skin a little bit and having some sort of deleterious effect on you, but you're successfully able to resist it. And the second one pulls itself up onto the docks, looks around, scans around, and starts coming this way and is going to try and force its way into the tavern.
Okay. We don't like that.
Plus, yeah, it just like it doesn't fit through the door, but it doesn't care. It just sort of splinters the wall. Fortunately, it needed to use its action to dash to do that, but Wade, you can tell that it is gunning for you.
Well,
we're back to the top of the round with Learas.
Yeah, so I feel like as he gets caught in this thing, he drops his longbow on the dock, and he's just like, "Oh, what even is this thing?" And draws his swords out, all the while moving his hunter's mark to the Chul. Any resistances, immunities, vulnerabilities?
It is immune to poison and the poisoned condition.
Fair enough. Well, he's going to call out, "Don't use poison, but Cam, you should go help the people." And then I'm going to attack from my grappled position. Wait, do I have disadvantage for being grappled?
No.
Okay.
Restrained, yes. Grappled, no.
Yeah, I can never remember because no one uses these. But that's going to be a 27 to hit.
Yeah, 27's going to hit.
Nice. I got that going for me. Put these in the cup. Yeah, that's going to be a solid 13 piercing damage.
13, very nice. It sort of takes it in stride. You stab at it and find like a seam in its carapace and drive your sword in there. It doesn't seem too bothered by it. Anything else from you?
Yeah, I'm going to attack 2 more times. So...
Do it up.
Sorry, I was just reading a feature real quick.
Gotcha.
Ooh, that's nat 1, so I'm going to use my lucky point.
Oh, right, we have that.
And that's a nat 1.
Well, Timora does not smile upon you this evening.
Yeah, let me just get rid of that fucking Timora. This is why Learas doesn't believe in luck. But that's a 27 to hit again.
Yeah, that'll hit.
For my 3rd hit. I want that and that. Ooh, nice. So that's going to be 11, 14 plus 5, 19 piercing damage on that one.
Very nice. Solid hit.
Yeah, so and then one bounces off the shell, and then the second one comes in, gets into the creature. I don't know what parts of it has. And that's going to be my full turn.
All right. Where'd the map go? There it is. All right, Cam, you are up.
I'm nervous about leaving Learas there, but he's told her to go, so I'm going to, I guess action disengage. Head right here. Use this ruler to figure out something.
Just for scale, the lucky lady's about 35 feet on the short side. If you need to eyeball something.
I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians. So Cam. Wait, oh no, I can't do that yet because I just used my action. I'm going to pull my spiritual weapon like right through the first creature here, the one that's attacking Learas. Might as well help a little bit while I go. That is going to be a 16 to hit.
16 does not hit. Unfortunately.
Okay.
Only
then
just.
She's going to move into the space with this one, even though that's a bad idea. And that'll be the end of her turn. She's not very quick, so.
All right. And Wade, you're up. One of these things has just blown out the back door and right off its hinges and is coming for you. Any of the remaining tavern guests are fully clearing out.
Thank goodness.
Torn between shocking grasp is it?
Grab one of its tentacles.
Reactions. Okay, torn between Cause Fear or Tasha's Mind Whip.
Ooh.
I'll try Cause Fear. It'll be like, be afraid! So wisdom save of 15.
15. All right.
Hopefully
It's
they're
gonna
not
be
very
a
close.
5.
Yes.
It is now afraid of you. Disadvantage. You can't willingly move closer. Cool.
Not sure if I should move away or not.
Yeah. Yeah, do you want it to follow you now is the problem.
Well, I can't move closer. No.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if a creature that's afraid of me is still going to attack me if I move away.
Based on how I played Nim that one time, he was afraid you can still get opportunity attacks, I'm pretty sure.
You can. It'll be at disadvantage.
Yeah, but I also have no. I don't have mage armor up or anything like that. Yeah, I'll I don't want to die, but I'm gonna try to back up. I'm gonna try to back up. I'm gonna do it.
How far do you back up?
I don't know, like 5-10 feet, about 10 feet.
Okay.
It has a reach thing.
Yeah, if you back up 10
Oh,
feet,
does it?
you are still within its reach.
Oh, I'll back up further than that.
So it does then get the opportunity attack with disadvantage, which it is going to try and do.
It'll
Trepidatiously
probably,
with
you know.
3 on the die. So that's going to be no. Unless what, a 9 hits?
No, thankfully I have a 12. It's 12 AC. Otherwise, I would have used shield or silvery barbs. So, okay. Good. Good. We're all good. I'm not dead. That will be my turn.
All
and
right.
I finally used Cause Fear.
And it worked.
It did.
You're out of its reach. So yeah, it's got you grappled, Learas. It's going to make its full attack on you.
Yep.
On your turn, you can attempt to escape on your turn if you would like.
As an action?
Yeah. So the first one gonna miss. The second one is going to be a dirty 20, though.
Yeah, that's gonna hit me.
So it tries to double grapple you with its other claw, but you're able to like bend backwards out of the way, but then it just clamps down harder with the first one. And it's not the best roll for it. It's gonna be 9 points of damage, please, and give me another Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, okay. No.
What? Why?
5.
5, unfortunately, is not enough, and you see more of this as you're like ducking, trying to get out of the way. One of its tentacles grazes across your face, and some of this substance that it's leaking gets in your mouth, and it's just this terrible, awful taste, and you can feel this poison coursing its way through you. You are poisoned for 1 minute. As long as you are poisoned, until the poison ends, you are paralyzed. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
And not good.
That's not good at all.
Yeah. And then it will move up this way, bringing you with it.
Okay.
Second one, afraid of Wade, is not going to get any closer to him. Is going to try and make some attacks on Cam, but because it can still see Wade, it does them with disadvantage. Yeah, it's going to be a 14 for the first one. 16 for the second one.
Those do not hit.
Yeah, it
Nice.
takes 2 swings at you, but it's not really looking. It's got most of its attention on
I think
Wade
she
still.
like uses her warhammer to just kind of like deflect some of it like wraps around her warhammer instead, and she like kind of pulls it free again.
All right, back up to Learas. Then you are paralyzed, which is not great. But make a Constitution saving throw at the end of your turn.
5.
Woo!
Oh no.
That is not ideal. Still poisoned.
Dude.
Back to Cam though. You can see Learas is like frozen in this thing's grasp.
Can she see Wade from where she is?
Maybe this thing's pretty tall. You could probably see underneath it.
Okay, then she sort of tries to gauge where Wade is by ducking down. And then now she's going to cast Spirit Guardians. And she's going to make it so that they don't hurt Wade or Learas. So they need to make a wisdom saving throw, I believe.
Wisdom, the highest one is a 14.
Those are fails. Just trying to see. Does that do it on my turn?
I'd say so.
I'm pretty sure that's entering it for the first time.
Okay, yeah, that's the wording that I was not registering. That's 11 points of radiant damage as these golden unicorns just burst out of Cam's vicinity and start running around her.
There's some notable cracks that you're able to see forming in the carapace of the one that has got Learas grappled.
Good. She's not happy right now. And then bonus action, she's going to, again, try to hit the one that's holding Learas. 22.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And that is 2d8. 4, 11. So that's 15 radiant damage.
Nice.
And that'll be the end of her turn.
All right, Wade, we're on you.
Would I have heard the second thing approaching? Like, can I assume it's within 20 feet of the other one?
I
Another
think that's a pretty
fireball?
safe assumption.
Okay, because that's, the only thing that wizards are good for is fireball. So we should
Whoa.
we should just spam fireball until the problem goes away.
I would like to state that Wes has never cast Fireball.
So what's the wording on that ability that you have?
I was wondering that myself.
So it says affects other creatures that you can see. I can't see him. Okay. Good point. I didn't catch that. I won't do that yet. Should I do Tasha's Mind Whip or Chromatic Orb?
Only if
I'm gonna
you
do-
go Super Saiyan do I say Chromatic Orb.
I am going to do Tasha's Mind Whip on the B one because that's what I can see. So that will be intelligence of 15 save.
Well, you'll be pleased to know that it got a -1.
Nice. So that is 9 damage. I rolled the wrong one. I should have done the second level because I'm only casting on one. 9 damage, and it can only choose to get a move, action, or bonus action. One of the 3. And can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn.
Let me see. Okay, it can repeat the saving throw against fear. It failed. Okay. Yeah, this thing's not having a good day. Anything else from you, Wade?
No.
All right. The one that's got Learas grappled is going to use its other claw to try and attack Cam.
Come at me, bro.
18.
That meets my armor class.
It clamps onto you, and some of this poison it's been slinging drips onto you as well. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
12.
Cam, you feel the poison
Oh my god, no.
enter your system as well.
Feeling woozy.
The number to beat here is 13, just for next time.
TPK
And
here.
you find yourself unable to move, locked in place as well as this poison is coursing through you. Shanks, the one that's holding you, is going to try and do that.
Do we take
And-
any damage from that?
Oh, right. That hit. Thank you. It'll be 9 points of bludgeoning damage to you, Cam.
Alrighty.
And... okay. Yeah. It doesn't auto-crit, which is nice. But it is going to clamp down on you again, Shanks, and that is, unsurprisingly, I think, with advantage from you being paralyzed, is going to hit.
Yup.
Be 9 points of bludgeoning damage again.
All right.
From that one, and then B is in a little bit of uncertainty as to what to do.
Sorry, they were supposed to take damage from Spirit Guardians.
Spirit Guardians, yes.
Yeah.
Do they need to save again?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Well, the one that's got Shanks grappled got an 18, but the one that's got both of you grappled got an 18, but the one that doesn't got a 1.
So that's 11 for the fail. And with 5 for the pass.
Cool. Then B is gonna move out here just so it can't. It's scared of you, Wade. It doesn't want to look at you. And it's gonna try and wail on Cam, even though it's already grappled. But I'm gonna say that because of the size of your body relative to the size of this claw, you have partial cover on that.
Also, Cam, you got to make a concentration save.
I did. I was just checking if paralyze affects my concentration at all.
No, it shouldn't.
Okay, then it's still up.
Oh, well, that's going to be... it's not going to manage to hit you, Cam. It got like a 7. So it just sort of
hits the other one.
it just bounces off of the claw, the carapace on the claw of the other one, and it's going to try and save against the fear now that it can't see you. That's a wisdom, was it, Wade?
Yes. 15 wisdom.
15. I don't think it made that. Nope, it got a 12. So it is
Good.
still scared.
So am I.
Right. Learas, give me that con save.
That's going to be a 21.
That makes it. You shake it off. You are immune to this poison for 24 hours now.
That's nice. But that's hidden turn, right?
That is, so you can read a saving throw at the end of each of your turns. Yeah, so that is end of turn. But you're not paralyzed anymore.
Suddenly,
Huzzah!
What is happening?
And you look to the side and see Cam in a similar state that you were in its other claw. Speaking of, Cam, can you give me that con save to see if you can shake it off?
I don't think I can. A 10?
Not quite enough. Cam, it's still paralyzed. Then we're back around to Wade.
They're out of my sight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see part of B just because of the hole it blew in the back of the building. You can see like some of its legs.
I don't know what to do. Should chromatic orb. B, I can see B, right? Can I cast
can
chromatic orb at it?
I would say B would have partial cover from you, but you
Oh.
can see it. So its armor class would increase by 2 from that. Just because it's mostly
don't
obscured
want
by the
that.
back of the building.
Bones. What else can I do here? Mage hand. Oh, cast. Nope.
Wave some melted butter at it.
Okay, I'm gonna cast what I probably should have cast earlier. Mage armor.
Call. Good call.
And I am going to hide out here. Just because I can't do much right now.
Sounds
I'll
good.
probably loop back around.
We're back around to number 1. It's looking
Like
not
wants to take some damage.
yeah, it's not looking super happy. If you could make that if it make that wisdom saving throw for you from both of them. One fails, but the one that is afraid of foul succeeds.
It'd be a 10 and a 5.
All right. The one that is holding the two of you is looking extremely distressed.
Finish him off.
It, though... How am I going to rule this? So, Cam, you're paralyzed. So you automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. So, Learas, you get a shot at this. It is going to throw the two of you into the river.
Okay.
I'm going to say that for you, Learas, that's an opposed... It's going to be a strength check from it opposed by your athletics or acrobatics. Cam, sorry.
I'm sure I'll sink right to the bottom.
Yep.
Yes, that's a 19 for me.
Ooh, this is going to be close. Dirty 20 from it on the athletics. So it will, let's see.
It's fine. He was gonna jump in there and save me, all heroic like anyway.
Yeah, but I wanted to kill it first, but that's fine.
It throws the two of you about 15, 20 feet off the docks into the water. Learas, you're gonna be fine. Cam, however, is paralyzed and wearing a lot of armor.
Yeah.
And then number B. Let's see. Doesn't quite know what to do. It is going to look around and not see you anywhere, Wade, and sort of look at the other one and communicate something to it, and does manage to shake off the fear finally.
Fuck.
But that is going to be its whole turn. It's just kind of looking around, not seeing anyone Actually, that's... Wait a minute.
Did Lydia leave?
You're not sure where she is at the moment. Okay. So before it shakes off the... No, it can't because it can't get closer to you. It's still afraid. Okay, cool. Yeah, it stays put. Order of operations is important. Learas, you're up. You see Cam go flying along with you into the river.
Yeah, well, I'm going to swim over to her and grab hold of her, keep her from drowning.
Easy enough to do for you.
Yeah. And I'm debating on my other... What comes next, but I think I'm going to cast Hypnotic Pattern. And for a brief second, scales come out and just burst from his skin, and like an array of light just flashes off all of them and stuns the area.
Flashbang.
Oh, Cam missing this? So shiny.
I'd say you can probably still see it. You just can't.
You can see.
Yeah.
You're just not able to move.
Yeah. What's the save on that?
It's 14.
Which kind?
I think it's wisdom, right? Hold on, sorry. It's the first time I've used it as Learas, so it is
Wisdom, yes.
thank you.
Cool. Well, the one that was afraid of foul fails. The other succeeds. The one that's heavily wounded succeeds.
All right. I don't know how much distance I have here, but I'm going to start dragging Cam back towards the pier as well. I don't know how far I can get with her.
So I will tell you. Let's see. You can get to the pier with her. You could, well, depending on which way you go.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I don't know.
You could get back to that little boat.
Okay, that's a good idea. Let's do that. I'll just kind of... I've used my action stuff, so I don't know if you'll allow me to like lift her up onto the boat or not.
I'm gonna say make an athletics check because you are lifting a big lady wearing a lot of metal while you have naught but water to stand on.
Yeah, absolutely. However, I rolled a dirty 20.
Nice, yeah, easy enough for you. You've got a swim speed, right?
Yes, 30 feet.
Yeah, so you're carrying Cam. You dive down under the water and sort of breach up like a dolphin, and are able to get enough height from that to deposit her over the side of the boat.
There. Now don't drown on me. Meanwhile, he's
anything else from you?
bleeding. No, that's everything I can do at the moment.
All right, we're up to Cam. Con save time, please.
Come on. But if this is low, I'm gonna use my luck point. Ooh, that was an 18 on the die. So
that will
21.
do it. You managed to shake this off just as you're being rescued from the water by Learas.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disoriented, and I'm like, "Thank you." I'm like spitting out water.
You're welcome. Heal me up if you can.
That was at the end of my turn.
Was
that I
at
did
the
roll.
end, yeah.
Well.
But we're back around to Wade.
Man, I don't want to get closer to these things that kill me. They wreck me. Let's see here. I just take like I don't know. How high are these? Like right. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, that's not really a wall. That's sort of a drop. So that drops down about 2 or 3 feet to get to the boardwalk.
So would I be able to see them if I went to the other building down here? This side?
Let's see. You'd definitely be able to see A. It depends on how close you got to the dock, whether or not you'd be able to see B. Because let's see, 30 feet would get you about. I don't know if you can see that mark that I made on the map.
Yeah. I was thinking about like going south to the edge of the corner of this building.
Gotcha. You'd definitely be able to see A, and well, I think you'd have line of sight on B. You'd be able to see Learas and Cam. You'd only get like a fleeting glimpse of B through a window on the side of the tavern and out the hole it made where the back door used to be.
Okay, I will move south and go with my original idea of fireball.
Please, kaboom.
Okay, so dex save of 15.
They
for
both
total
fail badly.
24 damage.
Nice. What does it look like when that kills Chul A?
I imagine it like the shell or whatever would sort of like be charred, and you could hear like the sizzling of its flesh.
Smells like crab.
Ew. No, don't say that for these ones.
All right. Any bonus actions from you?
No, I gotta save those just in case. You know, I
Right,
guess
well.
not. Anyway, save it.
A is no
I don't-
more.
Hey.
B. Let's see. Yeah, not being afraid of you anymore, Wade. It is gonna use its action to dash and close the distance with you.
How much fucking movement does it have?
Enough to dash that far.
Did it pass through the spirit guardians?
It did pass through the Spirit Guardians. It does make its wisdom save, but it still takes half.
Also, the spirit guardians area is difficult terrain.
10.
Ah, yes it is.
13. So halved is 6.
6.
So with the Spirit Guardians making that bit of it difficult terrain, it actually can't close with you.
Nice.
Just gets pelted by a bunch of unicorns and has to slow down.
You said 6? Was that right?
6,
Yes.
yes, damn
Yeah,
it.
sorry.
Cool. It is forming large cracks on its shell as well. And the unicorns forcing their horns in there and cracking open the already existing seams. Back to Learas, fully unparalyzed and not needing to swim to rescue your companion anymore.
I can't quite make it. Well, he's gonna swim over here, leap up onto the dock, and like run as far as he can. And he calls out to it, "You big ugly piece of shit! Look at me!" and chucks a dagger at it. Which I guess I can chuck multiple daggers, can't I? That's going to be a 25 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
I'm also going to move my hunter's mark to it.
Good thinking.
So that should help a little bit, you know? Oh, and it's been wounded already, right?
Yeah.
Quite badly.
Yeah, so that's
Diabold.
going to be a total of... This D6 has rolled so many ones for me. Fuck it. 11 plus 5 is 16 piercing damage.
Nice. 16. It is looking very, very wounded again.
Cool. Well, I'm going to throw another dagger at it then.
Do it up.
And I'm going to swap out that D6. And that's going to be another 13 piercing damage.
Very nice. How would you like to do this?
So he runs up to it, he's yelling at it, he chucks a dagger at it, it just right in the back of its neck, and as it reels back from the damage, it turns to look at him, and as soon as he sees its ugly face, he chucks another one, it goes right up into that mass of tentacles, and just out the back of its head.
And it sort of stumbles on its legs a little bit, which are arranged kind of like... I don't know, it's like it has the front legs of a dog or a horse for all of its legs. It's just two of them are pointing backwards. So it kind of stumbles a little bit and then collapses in place.
I got it.
Are we out of initiative order?
We can go out of initiative now.
Okay, Cam was already like running up with him since she was like right after him. Oh, you said you wanted healing. She like places a hand on his shoulder and you can just feel like this warmth as her hand kind of like glows out. And you are healed by 6. And she's gonna say, Do you need more than that?
I need a lot more than that, but it looks like the fight's over. Maybe I'll just sleep it off. And he opens up his leather armor to see like these claw imprints all the way across his torso.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the sound of that because we didn't expect this fight to begin with. And as she's like expressing her concern, like through that, she's gonna cast Healing Word at 2nd level.
I didn't think they were this far out.
Not a whole lot more, but she almost seemed like she didn't intend to do it. But you get 7 HP back.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, wait, I was surprised to see them here too. Something's going on. The giant crabs, I've seen worse, but these things, they aren't.
Oh.
That was all robotic.
Yeah, you turn into a robot. You showed your true self for a second there.
What did you say, Phil?
Audio troubleshooting, one moment, please.
It seemed like if those are the same things, have they been overrun at Harbor Watch?
I hope not.
If these things are there, then almost certainly. Hopefully it's just the giant crabs. They didn't seem that alarmed. So I don't know. David, did the size of these things, does that match what I saw in the water, or did they come off something bigger?
That matches what you saw in the water.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure.
Yeah. You got these things were probably walking along the bottom of the river and then came up. And yeah, the dock is like wherever they took a step, it's kind of like bowed and cracked, and the back half of the Lucky Lady is just a wreck. And
I'm going to take some time and mend up anything I can.
Do these creatures look natural, or do they resemble sort of like the mutations that we've seen in others before?
So you can make a nature or an arcana check, but they just like on a surface level, they do resemble the mutations. There is that surface similarity there. If you want to learn more.
17 in nature.
23. Was that nature?
Nature.
Yeah. You can very definitively say that these are not a natural creature. You have
Dear
lived
God.
here all your life. There is nothing like this that lives in the bay.
Well,
In
I don't
Learas,
know if
you
these
can say the same.
I don't know if these will taste as good as crab.
I wouldn't eat them. They're filled with poison.
Oh, is that why Cam went limp earlier?
Yeah, they got me with it too.
Very
Probably why they
unpleasant.
were immune to poison.
Makes sense.
But
At least
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say at least I was able to make that first one afraid of me for a little bit.
Is that what you did? I was wondering why it stopped trying to move into the tavern.
What did you do? Did you make yourself like really big? I know that works on some creatures.
I just, said be afraid or something. I was gonna cast Mage Armor, but I figured they'd probably just tear through that.
They did get through my armor, so
Mine as well.
So I just figured Mage Armor wouldn't hold up against a
Fear was a
big
good choice to
creature.
use.
And then, Learas, I'll also say the giant crabs, not the chewel, but the giant crabs, those are native to the bay. They don't usually come in this close to shore. They usually keep to like the deepest parts of it.
Yeah.
But they are good to eat. You do know that.
Yeah, I figure they've been riled up by these things somehow, but I mean, there's plenty of meat here. They are actually edible as long as you cook them well enough.
Which I'll say 23 points of fireball will get the job done.
They were like flash fried. Just
Yeah. Well, we are at 9 o'clock. I think that's a pretty good place to break for the week. We'll figure out what the hell was up with that, maybe, next time.
just feels like a little bit of a milestone that we just passed.
I think it does, on that. I do think that when you rest this evening and reflect upon your journey thus far, I'd actually planned to give you one of those and I forgot. So thank you for reminding me.